The beginning is a very delicate time. But who cares about that? Let's talk about Half-Life. I said I would do a video on Half-Life in my Half-Life 2 video, so here it is. Back in 1996, a small group of guys who had formerly worked at Microsoft created Valve. Led by Gabe Newell, they began work on Half-Life, then known as Quiver. They got the source code for Quake from id Software, and tweaked the engine, renaming it Gold Source. It was renamed to Half-Life, and they brought in Mark Laidlaw, a science fiction writer, to write the story. The game was finished in 1998, and was very well received. Many declare this to be the most important shooter to ever release, so let's see.
Good morning, and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel.
We open in a train as we make our way towards the Black Mesa Science Facility. We play as Gordon Freeman, an MIT graduate. This may seem like a kind of basic intro now, but back in 1998, the average intro was a wall of text or a very short cinematic of the level. Then you would start shooting bad guys. This intro goes on for several minutes, showing you some of the different locations you'll be going through. Once we get off the train, we meet an NPC that you're not supposed to kill.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late.
Pretty cool. Get to walk around our job site and talk to all our colleagues. Goof with computers, microwaves, soda machines, you name it, you can goof with it. After going to the locker room, we get our HEV suit, and off we go to the experiment room. Some of the scientists are being kinda weird and vague, but we go in and have to push this crystal into a laser. But of course it goes wrong, and we start flashing in and out of this weird place with these tentacle-faced dogs and three-armed brown dudes with red eyes. After a bit of this, we walk out of the test room and see that the entire facility has been wrecked. After jumping around for a bit, we talk to some scientists who want us to get to the surface. After grabbing the crowbar, we encounter the main enemies of the franchise, head crabs. They jump around and we soon encounter them latched onto scientists' heads, turning them into zombies. Pretty cool. Continue through the facility, encountering more weird-looking enemies like hound eyes, bull squids, and vortigaunts. The more enemies we meet, the weirder they look, and the cut enemies are even weirder. Do not look, I'm Mr. Friendly, please don't do it, man, please! We get new weapons as well, like a pistol, shotgun, and grenades. We run around through some office rooms, fridges, and vents, and after a while, we find out that the military is here to save us from the aliens. Our hopes are shot down pretty quickly when a soldier kills a scientist and then tries to kill you. The military has really been sent here to cover up the invasion, which means killing all witnesses. We get some pretty fun fights with these guys and get an SMG. We hear from a scientist that we should go to the Lambda complex, so we begin making our way there. The next level is Blast Pit, where we get our first boss fight, kind of. These giant tentacle monsters hang around in this rocket testing area and tap these platforms. If we throw a grenade at a different platform, it'll go there and tap there instead. If you get tapped, then it's an instant death. We have to run around this area, pressing buttons and turning levers to activate the rocket to kill the tentacles. Pretty fun. After jumping down the hole the tentacles came out of, we run around and get to the giant room with another boss. This gargantuan blue man shoots fire at you, so you gotta run around and activate some switches to activate a giant generator to kill this guy. Then we climb onto a little train and go through a really ridiculously long track section. I don't like this part. It goes on too long and it's kinda glitchy in sections. When it's finally done, swim around for a bit and find this giant monster fish that we shoot with a crossbow. Pretty nice. We then run into these annoying assassins who are here to take out the military, aliens, and Gordon Freeman. After taking them out, we get jumped by some grunts and get thrown in a trash compactor. We climb out of the compactor and regain our crowbar. We have lost all our weapons, so we begin climbing through the residue processing area, regaining weapons along the way. This is a point that I have to emphasize. If you intend to play this game, make sure you play the original version. Do not get Half-Life Source. It may make sense to get it, as it is an upgraded version of the game, but the game has been broken for a very, very long time. And in this level, the whole game just goes berserk, so just stick with the original. Or play the remake, Black Mesa, which I remember being pretty good. Just don't play the source version. After this chunk, we climb out into a dog pound with hound eyes. After breaking out, we explore a bit and see this big chunky guy hanging out in a cage. He breaks out and we run away as fast as we can. We end up in a room with a cage of head crabs, and after pressing a button, they get all zapped to bits. As we continue through this area, we see more caged aliens. I guess the scientists have known about these guys for a while and have been doing tests on them and stuff. We get some bugs we can throw around, and we also get the Gauss gun, which is a super gun that we use to blow up helicopters and tanks. After running around outside for a bit, we fight another gargantuan blue guy by blowing him up with some airstrikes. We go through a bit more of the facility and finally get to the Lambda complex. We get one last new weapon, do a bit of fixing of some stuff, then do some teleportation puzzles. We reach the end of the Lambda complex, and we are told that we need to go into the place the aliens are from so that we can kill this giant thing that's sending aliens at us. So we restock on stuff, and then we go through this portal. Here we are. This is Zen, which is the planet the aliens are from. And these chunks are pretty boring. We jump around, explore some caves, and go through a portal. Pretty short and uninteresting. We get a boss fight with the... Remember how I said the enemies got weirder the longer the game went on? This is mostly due to Ted Backman, who is kinda weird. After fighting this thing, which is the mother head crab, we go through another portal and end up in this factory filled with Vortigons. Oddly enough, they don't attack you unless you attack them first. I think there's supposed to be world building here, and it's fleshed out more in the sequel, but it's still kinda odd and confusing. After this part, we find the most metal-looking portal that would fit well on an album cover, and we hop through to the final boss. Yes, a giant flying fetus with 3 arms that shoots portals and lasers at you in a giant room with a floor covered in gravy and walls with giant crystals sticking out is the final boss. We shoot down the crystals, go through the portals a couple of times while consistently shooting Mr. Baby until his head splits open into thirds. Then we float upwards on these buggy jump pads to use our rocket launcher on his fuzzy brain core. After this, he gets electrocuted to death and blows up greenly. Then we get this.
Gordon Freeman in the flesh. Or rather, in the hazard suit. I took the liberty of relieving you of your weapons. Most of them were government property. As for the suit, I think you've earned it. The border world, Zen, is in our control for the time being, thanks to you. Quite a nasty piece of work you managed over there. I am impressed. That's why I'm here, Mr. Freeman. I have recommended your services to my employers. And they have authorized me to offer you a job. They agree with me that you have limitless potential. You've proved yourself a decisive man, so I don't expect you'll have any trouble deciding what to do. If you're interested, just step into the portal, and I will take that as a yes. Otherwise, well, I can offer you a battle you have no chance of winning. Rather an anticlimax after what you've just survived. Time to choose. Wisely done, Mr. Freeman. I will see you up ahead.
It's him! The guy who keeps showing up in the background doing nothing. He might be a bad guy, a good guy, nobody knows. Well, that was the game. The entire climax feels like it was made with some help from weed, but other than that, it was pretty good. It stays consistently fun, original throughout, the gameplay is smooth, and it has a very distinct design for the aliens. You should try it out. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you hated this video, then you should try playing StarCraft. Have a good one.